everybody. My name again is Mike Schrage, president of GNPI here in Joplin, Missouri. You know, it's important to say where we're from these days, isn't it? With all this social and physical distancing, we don't know where everyone's at necessarily. But I get to serve here at GNPI, and we are bringing you another episode of Faith Greater Than Fear. And the purpose of the episodes is basically just to turn our focus on everyday life of people. And today I have with me Mindy Snell, who is our new Vice President of Development. And we are very, very thrilled, Mindy, to have you with our team. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And it's a crazy time to have started work somewhere, but I couldn't think of a better bunch of people to have to walk through this journey with. So I'm excited.
Well, we are too. And one of the things we wanted to have Mindy share with everyone today is the fact that Mindy is a great follower of Christ and has a lot of intentionality behind that. And so I just want her to unpack just where her and her husband Tim and their own personal journey right now and how you're coping, Mindy, with the COVID-19 virus and how it's made you pivot, as all of us, in our daily lives.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny that typically I was actually just talking to the team earlier today, right before this call, and how normally I'm a very, just kind of go with the flow and I don't get antsy very much, but there's something, it's a mental challenge, what this COVID-19 has done, I think. And so for instance, I think just because I've been told I can't do something now makes me really want to do it. So if I say I can't leave the house, now I'm something like, I want to leave. And I think that is sort of how it's affecting a lot of people. And so it makes us have to be intentional about everything that we're doing so that we can redeem the time. We talk about that a lot at GNPI as part of one of our core values is we want to make sure we're redeeming the time well. And so here we sit in this time and we have the opportunity to gather closer to family. We have this opportunity to reach out to friends. But more importantly for me, I think is that we have the opportunity to be intentional about our relationship with Jesus and what does that really look like? And so I've kind of been doing some various things that kind of have helped with that. And so this time in particular, though, I think it's so important to do that.
Well, I totally agree that we can either steward this opportunity, and one of the things that I've been praying is, Lord, I want the virus to go. There's no question. That either with you just removing it or we have a vaccine, but in the process of what you make as a decision, God, help me to learn the lessons under pressure right now that will steward my life even better. And that's where I really want you to help us unpack a little bit. Is this on mission on purpose, this intentionality element? So tell me a couple of things that I found were really helpful when you were telling me that you personally do and your family as well, that might help our viewers as well.
Yeah, of course. So one of my favorite tools that I was introduced to, it's been several years ago now, but it's called the prayer wheel. And some of you guys may be familiar with it. I don't know if you are, Mike. But it's a set time. I like to refer to it as interval prayer training. A lot of us, we might exercise and we do interval physical training where we do something for a certain amount of time and then switch and do something else and switch and do something else. And it's supposed to be really good for our bodies that way. Well, I also think for our prayer life and if we do this, I love this interval prayer wheel. So every 5 minutes, if you set your timer, I think we're going to have it attached, but I think it's out there on the internet as well. But if every 5 minutes you switch to a different thing. So you start with praise and you end with praise and it lasts for a whole hour. Now that may seem daunting. I know sometimes when I say that people go, oh, whoa, and pray for a whole hour. That just seems a little crazy right there. But you would be amazed. My brain is constantly going and it's a challenge for me to sit and pray for any certain length of time without notes or something of that nature, because my brain just will go on to the next thing. And that's not great. I mean, I'm admitting that's a weakness of mine. And that's why I personally love the prayer wheel, because it keeps me disciplined. When I set the timer for 5 minutes, I'm praying for I'm praising God. I started, I'm just praising God, praising him for 5 minutes. And before you know it, it's beeping again, my alarm. So I reset it for 5 minutes and I go on to the next part where maybe it's confession. It's interceding for so many people. We could spend time interceding for all of our medical workers that are on the front lines. And then we have time just to spend, and the next 5 minutes is reading scripture. I promise you, and this is from somebody who really, really had like the squirrel phenomenon, squirrel as I was praying. And so for somebody who liked this prayer wheel was life-changing. And I cannot tell you that the end of an hour went so incredibly quickly. And so I really love it. And I have introduced it to a lot of people. Anybody I show it to, they're skeptics, they sit there and think, I'm not going to be praying for an hour. I don't care what tool you give me, but they sit there and they do it and they love it. It's just amazing how they're able to do it. So I highly, highly recommend it. Just to really, and this is a great time to start some of those disciplines, right? Because sometimes I have the privilege of being able to still work from home. And so I'm still busy during the day. But a lot of people right now aren't. They're having this time. So take that time to be able to set some of these disciplines in place that you can continue on once life gets back to whatever your normal is going to be. I think that is the thing that we can do. We can say, okay, so if you sit time and you pray with your family, man, when you start to hear the hearts of your children, my daughter who's home from college is living with us again, and you begin to hear with their heart, what are they burdened by, and be able to talk to them about the world at large. And my daughter has such a heart for the nations, and just hearing that is inspiring it to me. And it reminds me to have a heart constantly for the nations and what that is all about. The other thing that I've been doing is intentionally reaching out to my Facebook friends, just a little short text or a private message just to say, hey, we may have not connected in years because, we all have hundreds of Facebook friends that some of them, sometimes you even have to remember why they're your friend. Why did I friend this person? That's sad to say, but you do, you have so many. And so, but reach out to them. This is an opportunity to say, I'm not even sure what all of our connections are, but I'm systematically praying for every single one of my friends. And I just wanted you to know that today I'm praying for you. So if you have something that a special request or something way that I can help, please let me know. And those are ways that we can be intentional about letting people know that we care for them. And some people, we may be still the only Jesus that they ever see or that they're seeing right now. And so a real form, and I just think that's so important, that we show kindness and compassion and, who Jesus is, that he is not here just to leave us in the midst of this, that he is right here with us. And we have that promise in scripture. And I think it's I probably shouldn't say this because what if I'm wrong, but I think it's in James where he says, draw near to me. And if you draw near to God, he will draw near to you. And I think that is so true, right? It's just a truth that we can just live out.
Well, I really appreciate the heart, of course, Mindy, the element of in this intentionality phase of learning new disciplines. I think they say that if we can create an action over and over and repeat it 7 to 10 times, I think the magic number is 8 maybe, that we can then say, yeah, it's a habit now. Right. It's something I'm going to do spontaneously and not have to think about it. And the element of, I always want to, when I have a lot of time with the Lord, I want to go right into what's on my wish list of needs. God, you need to help me in this. But to start it with praise, to your point, to start it with the word first. And so this prayer wheel that you've alluded to, I'm gathering it has probably 12 different sections of 5 minutes each to have the hour get consumed.
Mm-hmm. And it starts with praise and ends with praise, which is great.
Good.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing of just, I really liked what you said here about listening to your daughter in college pray. And prayer is kind of a window to the heart, isn't it?
Yeah,
you kind of see where they're at right now. And so whether that's a little kid who's a first grader or one who's a freshman or senior in college, we get to, as parents, see if we're intentional and inviting them to pray with us. We get to have a monitoring of how they're doing. And then this last thing you said about reaching out, with the fact that you're working home, because we all have technology, is being able to use social media and just picking up the phone, getting on the Facebook page, doing it with Instagram, and reaching out to people that maybe we haven't done in quite a while. And then,
Yeah.
hey, how are you doing? How can I pray for you? And so forth. So wonderful, wonderful insights. Tell me, in now this couple of weeks that we've been working remotely and so forth, what would you want to share in probably our last minute or two here of saying, Mike, if I had one or two things to share with your audience, these are the takeaways I'm learning right now with my husband, Tim, in our family right now. Any other insights spiritually God's teaching you or disciplines?
Wow. Put me on the spot there. No, I think it's just to be, the whole thing about prayer and worship and praising him and just taking every opportunity to do that. It makes for a less stressful environment. I was thinking of, when we were actually as a team praying earlier for some people who are having challenges in this time, whether it's because of stressful situations in their marriage or with their kids or whatever that might look like. And I think, really, just when you turn your hearts to worship, it's hard to stay mad at people, right? And so if you can just start singing a song, it kind of just breaks through the tension. And just put on some worship music or be silly, I always think I like to tease a lot. And whenever I think, yeah, but you know what? I'm created in God's image too, so he must like to tease as well. And I think that's an attribute of his and a personality. And I think that that's fun. He likes to have fun too. And so when we remember that, it kind of breaks the tension up. And God is like, he's in the midst of all of that. He's not just when we're serious. He's also when we're having fun and when we're joyful and when we remember that he is the God of all things. He is our friend. He's our Father. He is he's intimate with us. He's not just this far off, he is our salvation. Yes, he is our provider. And yes, he's done all these amazing things, creator of the world, but he's also our friend. And that we get to laugh with them and we get to joke. And I think that kind of remembering that can kind of dispel a lot of tension, because it does get tense. Yeah. Even in the most great situations, this close proximity to people that you love can be tense. So, sort of remembering all of that. So I think that's sort of one thing that I've learned.
Well, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time today.
Thank you.
Snell, and it's a joy to have you on our team. And as anyone can tell, with your bubbly personality, your love for people and for your Jesus is contagious. So, Mindy, thank you. And thank you all for joining us in this latest edition again of Faith Greater Than Fear. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to you coming back in a couple of days as we talk to other people and find out what are their insights, just like all of us, as we together are on this journey through this pandemic. And we want you to stay tuned. So thank you and have a great day.